Welcome to another video. This is your Tactical Power Pro, and today we're working on this A-iPower XOS2300i, which is the new version of the old SU-A2300i from A-iPower. The old SU-A2300i inverter was a great model, but now A-iPower completely redesigned the look. They changed the controls and they also changed the engine. So it's a new platform that is already at my shop looking for repairs. Let's see what's wrong with this A-iPower XOS2300i inverter that does not want to start. So pull start the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go. Let's start by applying the choke and see if the generator starts. Okay, generator won't start. A good generator should start in the first, second, or third pull. That's it. First thing you should do, grab your carburetor cleaner and spray some down the carb. Well, you will need to open the choke first, of course. Spray some carburetor cleaner down the carb and try to start the generator. Good news, generator started, but it shut down. This test we just performed confirms that we have compression and spark, but we're lacking the fuel. So let's take a look at the carburetor, because I'm pretty sure that it's dirty. Grab the 10mm socket and remove both of the carburetor nuts. One thing I do like about this new A-iPower inverter models is that they are service friendly. The way they place the carburetor is easy to get to compared to the older models. That's it. That's all we had to do. We got access to the carburetor. Before we crack open the carb, make sure the start run stop switch is in the off position so we can proceed to drain the fuel out of the carburetor bowl. Now that the fuel is drained out of the bowl, let's remove the fuel line so we can completely remove the carburetor. Man, now you're gonna see me struggle a little bit trying to remove the fuel line because I did not realize that this new style of carburetor came in with a longer fuel inlet barb. I did not remove the clamp far enough, and it was still holding to that fuel inlet barb. And I was struggling. You'll see. There you go, finally. Some fuel might come out, have a rag, or just raise up the fuel line so the fuel stop coming out. And look how long that fuel inlet barb is. Now that I have the carburetor in my hands, we can remove the bottom bowl and see how it looks inside. And also we want to take a look at the pilot jet on top of the carburetor. Now grab your 10mm socket. Let's get to work. Well, the bowl, surprisingly, is not that dirty. The bolt has a little bit of dirty fuel in there, but nothing bad. Let's take a look at how the main jet looks. And that jet looks new, looks clean, look like it's not dirty or clogged. So this is a good example of, by just seeing a clean jet, main jet, does not mean that your issue is not in the car. So let's keep looking deeper. So if the main jet on your carburetor is this clean and the generator is still not starting, take a look at your emulsion tube and look at that. That is completely clogged. So this means that fuel is going through the main jet, but it's not going through the emulsion tube, so it's not mixing air and fuel to create the right mixture for your generator to start. To get access to the emulsion tube, you first will have to remove the main jet. So gently, I said gently, remove that main jet. And that jet is clean. Now that the main jet is out, you can proceed to remove the emulsion tube. If the emulsion tube gets hard to turn, you can throw in a little bit of carburetor cleaner through there so it can remove the gunk a bit easier to remove. Here's the emulsion tube, and in this case, the reason why this generator didn't start, look at this. That is completely clogged. We should see through there, and there was no way this generator was gonna start. Now grab your carburetor cleaning kit or some wire and clear the emulsion tube. Now that that's clear, let's grab a carburetor cleaner and spray the emulsion tube, the main jet, and the rest of the carburetor. Damn, my bad. And on that note, I recommend you use some safety glasses while you do this. Grab your carburetor cleaning kit or wires and clear every hole you see in the carburetor. In some carburetors from the previous model, you were able to remove the pilot jet from the top without removing the bracket. But in this carburetor, you definitely need to remove the bracket so you can have better access to the pilot jet. And there goes the screw. No worries, just keep an eye on where it fell. You can get that later. But right here, make sure you don't drop this right here. Make sure you don't drop the spring that holds that plastic that connects the stepper motor to the throttle. If you lose the throttle spring, your stepper motor won't be able to give the precise adjustments needed for the engine to operate correctly. Once you remove the stepper motor bracket, gently remove the pilot jet. This jet right here controls the air to fuel mixture and idle without load. So make sure that hole right there is not clogged, because if it's dirty, you can have crazy speed fluctuations, which leads to your fuel not to burn right, which itself then leads to carbon buildup in your spark plug and spark arrestor. So this is what I use to clear out all the pilot jets. It is a small drill bit, which I found on Amazon. You guys can find the link in the description box below. But this has the perfect size. It's pretty solid, and you can just clear it through the hole. It doesn't matter what you got in there. What I like to do to test the idle jet is I grab the carburetor cleaner and spray it to the side while I block the other side, and the carburetor cleaner should come out the top. If the carburetor does not come out the top, that means that the idle jet is still clogged. Also, don't forget to spray carburetor cleaner through the hole where the idle jet sits. Right there. Now that we clear and spray the entire top of the carburetor, let's put the idle jet back in its place. Proceed to install the stepper motor bracket. Make sure that the plastic piece aligns with the stepper motor, and when you install it, that the throttle is in the open position. With the top part of the carburetor done, now let's go back to the bottom of the carburetor and install the emulsion tube. Make sure it's nice and clean, that every hole in the emulsion tube is clear. You can see through all of it. Install it back. To install the main jet, I was having some issues with the float, so I decided to remove the float so I can have better access to install the main jet. And while you're at it, inspect the float needle, make sure it's clean. Also, the hole where that needle sits, make sure it's clean. This one looks shiny, brand new. We have no issues there. Now let's install the main jet. Here's the test that I like to perform after I clean the carburetor to make sure that everything is clear and free of debris. Spray some carburetor cleaner through the main jet while you block the bottom of the carburetor, and the carburetor cleaner should spray out the emulsion tube inside the carburetor plus in the front two holes of the carburetor, just like this. Let's reinstall the carburetor. Make sure the bottom bolt is tight, and before we set the carburetor back in its place, make sure the gasket is not damaged, and we should be good to go. Oops, don't forget the gasket. We are almost at the finish line. We have the air box back in place with a clean carburetor. Let's start the generator and see if it runs. There you go. The generator started the first pull. That's awesome. Look at this. The generator only had 16 hours of run time. It's producing 124 volts, running at 60 hertz. Running great. While I perform this load test, I want to invite you all to subscribe to my channel, like and share the video. If it was helpful, let me know down in the comments, and I appreciate your support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.